Inubos nito ang laman ng maso at sinalubong ang kanyang mga mata. I want Alana. Ang sumunod niyang nalaman, mahigpit na niyang hata ang kwelyo ng matanda habang diridiin ito sa bar counter. You son of a bitch. If you lay one finger on her, you don't need to wait for trial cause I'm going to kill you myself. You hear that? Asik niya rito. But Leandro simply smirked and pushed him away. Tumayo ito mula sa counter at inayos ang damit na nilukot niya. Then you'd better keep an eye on her, son. Because the moment I see you leave her alone, you won't ever see her again. And then he walked away. Kakabalik lang ni Alana sa hotel room matapos ang masaya nilang dinner ni Leandro. She spent less than an hour in that dinner. Hindi niya yun pinatagal dahil alam niya naghihintay si Lucas sa kwarto. Kaya laking pagtataka niya at pagkalismaya na hindi ito madatnan doon. Kinakabahan na siya. Baka tuloy nitong umalis nang hindi lang siya formal na nakapagpapaalam at nakapagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga ginawa nito simula nang mamatay ang kanyang abuelo. And if she was going to be honest with herself, she wanted to see him one last time. Dahil alam niyang napakatagal na ulit bago niya ito makita. And he might be with someone then. He might even be already married. Napatiimbag lang siya. Okay na rin yun, maybe it was better if Lucas had already left. No need for awkward yet painful goodbyes. She could finally begin anew. She knew it was going to be hard but she had to do it. It was really time she moved on from him. Napatuwid siya ng tayo na makarinig na mahinang katok mula sa pinto. Kinakabahan niya yung binuksan. It was Lucas. She wanted to kick herself and instead of frustration, relief ang naramdaman niya na makita ito. I thought you left. Ani at pilit ginagawang kaswal ang tono. Hindi ito kumibo. Tuloy-tuloy lang sa loob at naupo sa couch. Kurot noo siyang sumunod sa lalaki. He looked really drained and troubled. Ayos ka lang, Lucas? I know I told you that I will leave you alone at hindi ako makikialam sa'yo. And I mean that, Annie. So what's the problem? Nagtataka na talaga siya. I booked the room right beside yours. But, listen, putol nito. May mga kailangan ako ayusin dito. And I need a few days for that. At sinasabi ko sa'yo ito para malaman mong hindi ako nag-decide magstay dito para gabalain ka. I just need to fix some things. Do you understand? What do you have to fix? Tanong niya. I can't tell you. Kailangan mo lang malaman na hindi ko to ginagawa para pakailaman ka. So please don't do anything drastic. Don't try to run away again dahil alis din agad ako kapag naayos ko ng lahat. Humugot siya ng malalim na hininga. Lucas looked sincere. At gusto man niyang malaman kung ano nga asikasuhin nito, ayaw naman niya itong pilitin. Oh well, she smiled. Do you want coffee? Napaangat ang palingin nito sa kanya. So, it's okay with you? Nagkibit balikat siya. Do I have a choice? Thanks, Annie. So, do you want my coffee or not? Actually, there is a place I know that serves the best coffee. Wanna go? Sa halip ay ayaw nito. Just a few days, Alana. Indulge yourself. Sabi niya sa sarili. Why not? Maya-may nakangiti niyang sagot. Napangisi si Leandro na makitang lumabas ng lobby ang kanyang anak kasama si Alana. It seemed his plan was working. Go get your boy, he is beautiful. Bulalas ni Alana habang di maalis-alis ang tingin sa nagigislapang ilaw ng mga building. She was looking at the Manhattan skyline right now. Naroon sila ni Lucas sa isa sa mga coffee shop sa Brooklyn Heights. It was located at the rooftop of an old mansion. Wala masyadong tao roon. Most of the people were down the road, sitting on the benches facing the East River. Some were just walking around and some were simply sightseeing. Alam niyang isa ang Brooklyn Heights sa mga lugar na pinakadinarayo ng mga turista sa New York. Pero duda siya kung alam nila mga turista ang cafe na kinaroroonan nila ngayon. Everyone in there seemed to be a native New Yorker at lahat nagbabatian. And the coffee was amazing, katulad ng sinabi ni Lucas sa kanya. How did you find this place? Tanong niya sa lalaking kanina pa nakatitig sa kanya. Magkaharap sila nakaupo sa pandalawahang mesa. I spent most of my time here before I went to the Philippines. Sagot nito. Isa ito sa mga paborito kong lugar. Tahimik at kakaiba sa mga lugar dito sa Brooklyn. This part of the neighborhood is quiet and peaceful. Mataman niya itong pinagmasdan. There was just so much I did not know about Lucas. Hindi rin naman ito nagkukwento noon ang tungkol sa pamilya nito. So what happened to you, Lucas? What do you mean? I mean, what happened to you nung umalis ka ng Pilipinas? What did you do here? We spent our childhood together pero di wala man lang ako alam tungkol sa'yo. Trust me, there's nothing worth knowing about me. She rolled her eyes. Come on, tell me something. What did you do here? Kunway malalim itong nag-isip. Umakto pang hinihimas ang baba. She smiled. It had been forever since she last saw Lucas act playful like this at nakakapanibago. Alam na niyang gwapo si Lucas pero may napaka-endearing na youthfulness na lumalabas dito kapag ganitong relax ito at hindi sila nagbabangayan. His eyes were a shade lighter tonight and she loved looking at the reflection of the light she could see from them. May hindi rin maalis na bahid ang ngiti sa bibig ng lalaki and she loved looking at him. Would you believe me if I tell you na nagtatrabaho ko sa hotel na tinutuloy mo ngayon? Saglit na napamaang si Alana. No way! Nakangiti itong tumangutango. Anong trabaho? Naghibit balikat to. Kakilala ko may-ari ng hotel. He hired me to manage it habang inaasikaso niya iba niyang negosyo. Hindi pa rin siya makapaniwala. Surely it was just a coincidence na sa dinarami-rami ng hotel sa New York ay sa hotel pa mismong pinagtatrabaho ni Lucas siya napadpad. You've got to be kidding me. Ever wondered how I got into your room without breaking the locks? Mabilis niya itong natampal sa braso. Kaya pala. Seriously though, I'm sorry. That wasn't right. Sincero nitong saad. I'm now just realizing how hard it must have been for you to have all of us minding your business. I'm sorry, Annie. The last thing I wanted to do was to make you feel uncomfortable. Don't worry about it. Actually, I was feeling. Ako na nga ito inasikaso ko pang galit. Pag-amin niya. You guys even moved to the Philippines para lang sa akin. The boys were planning to move there anyway. And look what happened now. They're all happy and thinking of getting married. If anything, they should be glad that they've all decided to come home. And you? What did you get from leaving everything behind just for me? The hotel is nice and you left a good job para lang sa akin. I mean, how crazy is that? Hindi niya napigil ang sarili sa mga gustong sabihin. He wasn't picking up a fight but she had to say it. You're worth it, Alana. You're worth it. Mabilis nang napalis ang kamay nito nagtangkang humaplos sa kanyang pisngi. Para rin naman napasong lalaki at mabilis na binawi ang kamay. He then let out an uneasy sigh. Namumulang mukha, humugot siya ng hininga. Hat is getting late. We should probably get back to the hotel. Ani ang pinilit gumiti kahit halos sumabog ng dibdib niya sa lakas ng tibok ng kanyang puso. The way Lucas looked at her just now brought her back to the afternoon when they almost made love. Ang paraan niyang pagtingin nito sa kanya noon na parang siya ang pinakamagandang babaeng nakita nito, na parang sa kanya umiikot ang mundo nito. He was looking at her that same way again, and it scared the life out of her if she was gonna be seeing Lucas, and she was intent on not arguing with him anymore. She should never let herself get emotional again. Yeah, let's go. Pagsangay nito na pinagpasalamat ni Annie. Bigla ang ginawang pagdilat ni Lucas. Oh, anas niya. Hindi pa man niya nakikita kung anong oras niya alam na niyang nasobrahan siya sa tulog. He was very tired dahil simula pa sa eroplano, noong nakang araw ay wala na siyang tulog. Idagdag pa ang jetlag na hindi siya pinaligtas. He was still feeling groggy when he looked at the clock on the bedside table. It was 11:30 in the morning. Bumangon siya at dumiretso sa shower. A few minutes later, he was knocking next door, sa kwarto ni Alana. Nabuo na niyang plano kung paano ilalayo ang dalaga sa kanyang ama. Pasalamat na lamang siya at pumayag itong manatili siya sa hotel nang dito nagdududang binabantayan niya ito. He was going to use the few days he had para dahan-dahan itong kumbinse na sumabay na sa kanya pa uwi. He just had to make sure that Alana would feel it. Kilala niya ito. Habang napapressure ang dalaga, lalong tumitigas ang ulo. So he had to take it slow. Right now, it did not matter kung magkanda gulo-gulo na naman ang utak niya sa pagpipigil sa nararamdaman. Alana's safety would always be the first priority. He could rip his own heart out later on for all he cared, basta't masiguro lang niyang ligtas ang dalaga. He thought of his dad. He knew he was doing this to get back at him for sending him to prison. Napatiimbag ang si Lucas. It wasn't the time to think of the man. Muli, kumatok siya sa pinto ng dalaga. Mag-iilang minuto na rin siya nakatayo roon. Nang sa ika-4 na beses niyang pagkatok, wala pa rin nagbukas ng pinto ay gusto niyang buksan iyon gamit ang kanyang susi, pero pinigil lang niya ang sarili. He hurried down to the reception and asked Sandra, the receptionist, "Do you see Miss Alana go out this morning?" "Yes, she went out with your dad around 8 o'clock, sir." "What?" Biglay parang may bumundol na truck sa kanyang dibdib. Umalingaw sa kanyang utak sa nabasa niya ng ama kagabi bago sila naghiwalay. "Then you'd better keep an eye on her, son, because the moment I see you leave her, you won't ever see her again." He inhaled sharply. Lucas had never felt this scared his entire life, lalo pat alam niya kung ano mga kayang gawin ng ama. Napakulot noo si Alana. Nang pagpasok sa lobby ng hotel, nakita niyang relief sa mukha ng receptionist na si Sandra. Kagagaling lang niya sa Manhattan kasama si Leandro. Sinabi sa kanya kagabi na matanda na may alam itong apartment na babagay sa kanya. It was in Lower Manhattan, sa business center mismo ng New York, and the apartment that he showed her was just enough for her. It was a 2-bedroom unit. Sakto lang laki para sa kanya. At ang mas lalo niya nagustuhan doon, fully furnished na ang naturang apartment. She would need to bother with shopping for new stuff. After checking out the place, they went to lunch. Leandro was a very nice man at naalala niya rito ang kanyang lolo. She was thankful they've met. Kahit papaano meron na siyang matinong kakilala sa bago niyang titirhan. Smiling at Sandra, who was still acting weird, tumuloy na siya sa elevator. When she reached her floor, she located her keycard. Pero hindi pa man niya yung nasusuksok, bigla nang bumukas ang kanyang pinto. Lucas? Gulat niyang untag na makita ang lalaki, and just like Sandra, relief flooded Lucas' face nang makita siya. Mabilis siya nitong hinawakan sa magkabilang braso. Are you okay? Marahas nitong tanong, examining her face and her body. What? Okay lang ako. Bakit? Tanong niya. Pero sa halip sagutin niya, mahigpit siya nilakap ni Lucas. Parang nanghihina itong tumingin sa kanya. There was misery in his eyes. Lucas, anong problema? Kinakabahan niya itong niyakap. It was only then that she realized that Lucas was shaking. Napakahigpit na pagkakayakap ito sa kanya, na parang takot na takot itong mawala siyang parang bula. Hindi ba ito natawa? Ikinulong nito ang kanyang mukha sa nanlalamig nitong mga palad. And before she knew it, Lucas was kissing her hard. Doon na nagpanik si Alana. She tried pushing Lucas away. Pilit nilalabanan ang nananaig na emosyon sa kanyang dibdib. Her heart was simply rejoicing. Namalayan na lamang niyang nahatak na siya ni Lucas papasok sa kanyang kwarto at muli nang naisarang pinto. His shaking hand started to caress her back, while his kiss started to get demanding. Alana wanted to fight. She wanted so bad to resist him. But who was she kidding? She had already lost the fight long before Lucas even started kissing her. Sa wakas, pinikit niya ang kanyang mga mata at nagsimulang tumugon sa nakakapaso nitong halik. Pumaikot ang mga braso niya sa batok ng lalaki. Gustong palalimin ng halik na iyon. Ramdam ni Alana ang mabilis na pagtibok ng puso ni Lucas. Ramdam niya iyon sa kanyang dibdib na nakadikit sa matipuno nitong katawan. Lucas' body was warm and hard at tinutunaw niyon ang kakayahan ng utak niyang makapag-isip. Na mga oras na iyon ay iisa lang gusto niya, si Lucas, and that was escalated when he started kissing her neck, sucking on her delicate skin. Hindi pa nararamdaman ni Alana ang init nang bigla na lamang tumupok sa kanya. Her whole body felt feverish. Ang bawat haplos ng kamay ng binata sa kanyang katawan ay naghahatid ng nakakahilong sensasyon sa kanyang kaibuturan. She could feel herself starting to ache for something, and she wasn't able to suppress a moan when white heat gushed off from within her. She clenched involuntarily and pulled Lucas closer to her, pero may ibang plano pang lalaki. Nagmamadali nitong hinubad ang suot niyang coat bago tinaas ang kanyang bestida hanggang sa tuloy na iyong inalis. And then he looked at her straight in the eyes, his eyes burning with desire. At gamit ang nanginginig pa rin itong mga kamay, he unhooked her bra and let the tiny fabric fall down the floor. Alana's nipples immediately hardened, and there was that delicious ache that she felt when Lucas looked at them with heated eyes. Halos hindi na siya makahinga sa tindi ng sensasyong umaalipin sa kanyang katawan. Then Lucas gently pushed her down the bed. Nagpaubaya siya at pinanood itong mabilis na hinubad ang suot na t-shirt. Isinunod ng binatang pantalon, down his boxers with it. Once again, Anya felt that involuntary clenching of her muscles when she saw Lucas' member. He was big and hard, and the anticipation of feeling him inside her was killing her slowly. She let out a moan when Lucas finally joined her in bed. Pumaibabaw ito sa kanya at mapusok siyang hinalikan. Ginantihan niya iyon pero muntik na siya magprotesta nang lumayo ang bibig ng binata sa kanya. But that protest did not last a second when she felt Lucas' hot lips claim her aching nipple. Napaarko ang kanyang katawan. She was so sensitive that even the smallest movement of his tongue sent gushing waves of pleasure coursing through her. She was drenched and aching for him now. Lucas, I want you now, she said with a demanding. At alam niyang narinig siya ng kaniig dahil mabilis itong hinubad ang natitirang saplot sa kanyang katawan. He then opened her legs and positioned himself between them. Tinignan ni Alana ang binata. He was looking at her too. His eyes were full of intense emotions. At naroon pa rin ang panic sa mukha nito na nakita niya kanina. He was still shaking when he started to caress her folds. Napaungol siya, her body arguing in pleasure, and when Lucas dipped a finger inside her, she felt herself grab onto it again and again. "Lucas, please," she begged. Finally, Lucas kissed her again. At the same time, she felt his members seeking entrance. Hindi niya magawang gumanti ng halik ng lalaki sa sensasyong nararamdaman ngayon. Anya tilted her head up as she painfully welcomed Lucas inside her. Her nails dug deep into Lucas' skin, but he did not complain. His body was strained while he continued to slowly and gently make their bodies one. Anya let out a suppressed scream when Lucas finally broke the barrier. Mabilis itong hinanap ang kanyang mga mata. "Did I hurt you?" Nanginginig ditong tanong, searching her face for an answer. Hinimas niya ang mukha ng kaniig, gentleness pouring inside of her. She loved Lucas, and she realized that no matter what she did, the love she felt for him would never ever go away. "No," she whispered and kissed him on his lips. "Go on." She started fidgeting under him. Her body had adjusted to his size now, and the pain was gone. All that she could feel was the aching desire deep within her that was longing to be filled. At nagsimulang gumalaw si Lucas, thrusting in and out of her tight walls. Every thrust, every push, sent Alana's the edge. Hindi niya inasang ganito katindi ang sensasyong mararamdaman. She grabbed onto his shoulders and tried to meet his every thrust, igniting their flesh, sending their bodies into a nerve-shattering wave of pleasure, and she couldn't take it anymore. Lalong umigpit ang hawak niya sa balikat nito. She could feel her whole body tensing. She was about to explode. "Lucas!" she cried out. "I'm with you, sweetheart." He grunted and pumped even harder and faster, and that was all it took. She let out a long, lingering moan when she felt that massive explosion of pleasure deep inside her. Pleasure that seemed endless as Lucas continued to thrust in and out. "Lucas!" she gasped, and the pleasure started again when she felt Lucas feel his seat inside her. Muli sabay pa nilang tinawag ang pangalan ng isa't isa bago tuluyang humupa ang sensasyong gumupo sa buo niyang pagkatao. Balot ng lungkot, tahimik na pinulot ni Alana ang mga nagkalat na damit sa sahig. She was now confused more than ever matapos na nangyari sa pagitan nila ni Lucas. He was still lying in bed at sigurado siyang pinanonood siya ng lalaki, and the thought that he was still naked on top of her own bed, looking at her made her shiver. She should be ashamed of herself. Hindi nga niya alam kung ano nagtulak sa lalaki na gawin ang ginawa nito, pero eto siya ngayon at iniisip na uli ang maaaring mangyari. Nagmamadali siyang pumasok sa banyo. She took her time taking a shower. Umaasang sa paglabas niya ng banyo ay wala na si Lucas. But the awkwardness she was feeling did not fade when she got out of the bathroom and saw Lucas sitting on the couch. Bihis na, tila ba sadyang hinihintay lamang siya. "What are you still doing here?" Nauutal niyang tanong. She really did not know what to expect. "We need to talk." Malumanan nitong turan. His voice was still strained and tensed. Napahugot ng hininga si Alana. Kailangan nga nila mag-usap. She sat down on the chair opposite his. "What do you want?" "I want you to marry me." Diretso nitong saad. Annie may have no idea what to expect from this conversation, but she certainly did not expect those words from Lucas. "What are you talking about?" Mataman siyang pinagmasdan ng lalaki. She saw surrender in his eyes. Ni minsan di pa niya nakitang ganito kanina si Lucas. His weakness was so profound, she could literally feel it. "I came from a family who did not value human life, Alana." Tahimik nitong umpisa. "My father is a crime lord. My mother sent me to the Philippines sa takot niya maging katulad ako ng ama ko pagdating ng panahon. And that was after I saw my father kill his own best friend." Natutup niya ang bibig sa biglang confession ni Lucas. She wanted to say something pero nagpatuloy ito. This time, his face was void of any emotion. "As you may have seen, I was a broken child back then. I hated everyone, everything. Hindi ko pa naintindihan ang ginawa ng mommy ko. All I knew was that she chose my criminal father over me and sent me to a foreign place. I simply had no reason for living until I met Limuel. Until I met you." Tinignan siya nito. "I have adored you from the first time I saw you, Alana, and I hated Limuel. He was too sure of himself. He acted like he knew everything that I never liked like that. But he slowly grew on me. I just realized one day by being who he was, he actually changed me. Nakita ko na lang ang sarili kong sinasabi sa kanya lahat ng mga bagay na maging sa sarili kong lola ay hindi ko masabi. He knew everything about my family and yet he still accepted me. He made me want to become a better man, a much better man than my father. Binigyan niya ako ng pangalawang pagkakataong ayusin ang buhay ko. Anya, he trusted me, welcomed me into this world, and treated me as his own, without any reservations at all. He was my hero. Nabigla pa si Annie nang maramdamang umaagos sa palang kanyang mga luha. She had no idea that Lucas looked at her lolo this way. Mabait itong napangiti. But having in my life was not all flowers and rainbows, because with him was you. Nangulot ang kanyang noo. Was she a bad thing? What are you trying to say? She was suddenly feeling defensive now. I have fallen in love with you, Annie. Pakiramdam niya ay bigla siyang nalulok ang kanyang dila. Did she hear him right? And I've wanted you to know what I feel for you as long as I could remember, but that would just be so wrong. You are Lemuel's treasure. He had given me everything and it would have been too much if I asked for you too. And believe me, you are all that I wanted. You still are. Sinubukan ko nung kalimutan na nararamdaman ko para sa'yo, but it was to no avail. I was doing so bad I almost ruined you that afternoon in Lemuel's office. It was the hardest thing for me, wanting you so much, but not wanting to ruin your grandfather's trust. I was going out of my mind. Wala na akong ibang maisip na gawin noon kundi iwasan ka. Dahil alam kong kapag pinagpatuloy ko pang pagiging malapit sa'yo, hindi lang pagtitiwala ni Lemuel lang masisira ko. I was going to ruin you too. God, Annie, you were so young and have so much ahead of you. And me? I did not even know what to do with my life. And the thought that I came from a murderer's family made me believe that I should never, ever touch you. Alana was silently crying. She was finally getting the answers to the questions she had been asking all her life. She had known Lucas for so long and yet she did not know him at all. Hindi niya alam na ganito kabigat ang daladala nito. Na hindi niya alam ang klase ng pamilya na kinalimutan nito. The rage inside the young Lucas, ang palagi nitong paghanap ng away, and how hard it is for him to trust anyone except her. Gaano man to kagalit o gaano man kainit ang ulo, Lucas always had a smile ready for her, an endearing affection. It was all so clear now. My feelings for you had always been so strong, Annie, to a point that it almost drove me mad. And I just realized today na kaya ako mabuhay, daladala sa konsensya ko ang pagdungis ko sa pagtitiwalang ibinigay sa akin noon ni Lemuel. But I can't live my life without you. Na magising ako kanina't malaman kong wala ka, I was so scared. I was just with Leandro. Leandro is my father, Alana. Ramdam ni Alana ang pagkawala ng kulay sa kanyang mukha sa sinabi ng lalaki. What did you say? At sinimulang ikwento sa kanya ni Lucas ang mga nangyari nung bumalik ito noon sa Amerika and how his father pretended to be a changed man. Sinabi rin ni Lucas na kilala siya ng ama nito dahil ikwento ng binatang naging buhay nito sa Pilipinas. He then told her how he found out that Lucas was still very much involved in the syndicate and how Lucas pretended to be one of the bad guys to gain access to information hanggang sa maipakulong nito ang sariling ama. Leandro was on bail right now, kaya ito malayang nakakagala. She also found out that the Benitez family owned the hotel where they were staying at. Why didn't you tell me this nung sinundo niya ako dito sa kwarto? Ta kanyang tanong. I was shocked. I thought he was still in prison. At kakapangako ko lang sa'yo na hindi na kita gagambalain. I was supposed to leave for the Philippines, remember? Naihilamos niyang palad sa mukha. This was more information than she could take. What does he want from me? I talked to him last night. He was using my feelings for you to get me. He probably did not want me to leave the US again para magantihan niya ako. Kaya't sinabi niya na sa oras na mawala ka sa paningin ko, hindi na kita makikita pang muli. Oh my! God! Nakingina niyang usal. That was why I was so scared today, and I never wanted to feel that way again, Alana. Tumayo si Lucas, lumuhod sa harapan niya. I know it's a tough job to even like me, much more to love me, pero nakikiusap ako. Please, give me a chance. I cannot live without you, Alana. I am completely at your mercy. I love you. Please try to love me too. Despite everything, Alana laughed at iyan napigilang tampalin ng pisngi ang binata. You are so silly. What? Taka nitong tanong. Ikinulong niyang lito nitong mukha sa kanyang mga palad. I have loved you for so long. Bakit sa tingin mo sobrang nagalit ako noon sa'yo nang bigla mo na lang ako hindi pansinin? And why do you think I react so differently around you? I have been doing the same thing you've been doing for years. I've been trying to hide my feelings, but my reason had always been because I thought you didn't feel anything at all. Kitang-kita ni Alana ang pagliwanag sa mukha ng binata. Pinaghalong sorpresa, kagalakan at saya ang nakikita niya sa mga mata nito. Bago pa siya makahuma, nakatayo na si Lucas at mahigpit na siyang yakap. I am so sorry for everything, Alana. I just hope that Nimal would forgive me because this time I'm not backing down. I am never letting you go again. Ginantihan niya ang mahigpit itong yakap. Lolo adored you, and as you said, he trusted you. It was all or nothing for him, so I'm sure he's only happy that it ended care for me. He knows you will always take care of me. I love you so much, Alana. Please come back to the Philippines with me. Anito matapos siyang patakan ng halik sa mga labi. She smiled readily. I love you too. I've been dreaming of telling you that for so long. And of course, I'll go back to the Philippines with you. I can't go on a day without you anymore. She said sincerely. Halos sumabog ng dibdib niya ngayon sa kaligayahan. Lucas' answer was a deep, lingering kiss. At nang magsimulang humago ng palad nito sa kanyang katawan, ay hindi na siya naghintay. She had been waiting all her life. Siya na mismo humatak dito sa higaan. She wanted to feel him again. She wanted to love him again. And this time without any reservations. Nanakay ang mga mata ni Alana na makitang nasa pulang suntok ni Jessie ang mukha ni Lucas. You bastard! How can you do this, you son of a bitch? Jessie! Sigaw niya. Dadalo ng nobyo na paatras pero mabilis siyang hinawakan ni Brennan. You don't want to get between them, Alana. Trust me. Kalmado nitong sabi. We'll stop them. Nagpapanik ang sigaw sa tiyuhin na parang baliwala pa ang pinapanood ng dalawa. Nang muli niyang tingnan si Lucas ay madilim na ang mga mata nito at tumuro ito ng dugo abang tila walang balak na lumaban kahit papasagod ng muli si Jessie. Jessie, stop it, for God's sake. What the hell is wrong with you? Sigaw ni Claudette. Walang nakapigil dito ng lapitan nito ang nobyo at hatakin papalayo. Pinagkatiwalaan tayong lumal tapos itong gagawin? Pahabol ba ni Jessie na nagpapahatak sa nobya? Tuluyan na rin siya nakawala kay Brennan at tinakbo si Lucas. Are you okay? Nag-aalala niyang tanong. Namamaga ang panga nito at putok ang labi. Yeah, sagot nito at pinulong kanyang buhok. I deserve that. Matalim ang tingin binaligan niya sa Jessie na hindi pa rin maipinta ang mukha habang nakatingin kay Lucas. Isang oras pa lang mula nung dumating sila galing airport at ang una nilang ginawa, sabihin sa mga ito tungkol sa kanilang dalawa. Brennan and Aston were calm but Jessie was far from calm. Suntok agad ng sinalubong sa kanyang nobyo. Maybe it's time to tell them what Emil told you, Brennan. Aston drawled. Kampanteng nakalukip ito. Napatoon kay Brett ang atensyon ng lahat. Well, madalas kami mag-usap ni Lemuel noon and he told me how he had been so tired of waiting for Lucas to make a move. The old man knew that his bastard had a thing for Alana and he was actually happy imagining that one day ang dalawa nga magkakatuluyan. Natatawa nitong kumpisal. Are you kidding me? Bulalas ni Lucas mabilis na nakalapit kay Brennan. Nope. So I guess you could take that as a blessing from the old man. You bastard! Marahas itong itinulak si Brennan. You knew all along. Pero hinayaan mong suntukin ako ni Jessie? And before she knew it, Lucas had already landed a punch on Brennan's face. Hey, stop it! Awat ni Jessie pero suntok ang sinagot dito ni Lucas. That's for punching me. At tuloy na nagkagulo ang apat. Nag-aawatan, nagsusuntukan. Nagkakatinginan sin Alana at Claudette bago siya sabay na nagibit balikat. Should we help Violet and Van prepare dinner? Tanong ni Claudette. Nasa kusina ang dalawa pang babae. Walang kamawang-mawang sa nangyayari sa labas. Good idea, sagot ni Alana. At muling tinignan ang nagkakagulo pa mga lalaki. Natatawa na siyang sumunod kay Claudette. The scene was not new to her. The boys often fought like this before. Pero sa tuwing na bago matapos ang araw, ay magkakaumpukan na ulit ang mga ito na parang wala nangyari. That was just how they were. Kinapa ni Alana ang sulat na naroon pa rin sa suot niyang pantalon. Excited siyang ipakita yun kay Lucas. Nagawa yung iabot sa kanya ni Leandro bago sila umalis ng Maricar Suites. In the letter, Leandro explained why he had to do what he did. Apparently, the old man thought it was time for Lucas to man up and make a move on her. Sa tingin daw nito hindi magkakalakas na loob si Lucas na aminin ang nararamdaman para sa kanya kung hindi takot ang anak. And it worked. He wished them the best of luck and promised never to bother them again. Alana smiled. Maybe one day she could get Lucas to forgive his father. But she wasn't in a rush. She had plenty of time to convince her fiancé. Unti-unti na rin napatawad ni Lucas ang kanyang ama sa tulong ng kanyang asawa. Naging close pa sila nito, yung mga bagay na hindi nila nagagawa noon, nagagawa na nila ngayon. Tinatawanan na lang nila ang nakaraan. May mga bagay na kailangan natin kalimutan at magpatawad. Yun kasing kagagaan sa ating dibdib. Kung mamuhay tayo sa galit, poot at paghihigante, sarili lang natin ang paghihirapan natin. Hindi tayo makakaramdam ng happiness kung alam natin na hindi tayo lubusang buo at masaya. Nagkaroon sila ng anak na babae at lalaki. Mapagmahal na asawa si Lucas. Ipinararamdam niya sa kanyang Mrs. Alana Benitez na mahal niya ito. Hindi niya kaya mawala ito at isa ito sa nagbibigay kasiyahan, kaligayaan, kapayapaan at katiwasayan pagkasama niyang asawa. Nandun pa din ang takot sa mga kaaway na mananakit sa kanyang asawa at anak, kaya hanggat maaari ayaw niya mga itong nawawala sa paningin niya. Kapag ang kanyang anak may pasok, meron itong mga bodyguard at may kasamang yaya. Hindi naman sa pag-overthink. Gusto lang niyang ligtas ang kanyang pamilya, lalo na si Alana. Ayaw man niya itong pagtatrabahuhin, pero naiinip ito kapag nasa school ang kanilang mga anak. Hindi siya makapahindi sa asawa niya para hindi ito magtampo. Ginawa niya na lamang itong personal assistant, kahit pa may mga sekretary siya. Kasama niya pa rin ito kahit saan man siya magpunta. Doon, panatag ang kanyang kalooban na walang may magtatangkang masama sa buhay nito. I am Lucas Joaquin Benitez. I am madly in love to my wife, Mrs. Alana Benitez. Gagawin kong lahat para lang mapanatiling safe ang aking asawa at anak. At dito na po nagtatapos ang kwentong The Billionaires Protecting His Secret Love. Sana'y patuloy yung subaybayan ang susunod pang upload. Maraming salamat!